Hey, what's up folks? Looking back at the comments on my last video, the main criticism I got was my talking speed, and sometimes I just feel like one of those speedy auctioneers and get a little carried away, alright? I can't help it all the time. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about a wide variety of things such as Easter eggs and next-gen update, and a breakdown of the quality performance modes you can pick from. So let's not waste any time and get right into the couple interviews we're taking a look at. The lead level designer at Techland, Piotr Pavlovic, is the one answering questions for us today with MP1st, a multiplayer gaming news site, in which they ask Piotr about the FPS on next gen, and if there's a dedicated 4K mode, and so on. He replies with, and I quote, "We're developing several options for new generations. For players who prefer visual experiences, we've prepared the quality mode, which thanks to the use of ray tracing, has significantly improved the quality of the scene with an emphasis on environmental lighting. In quality mode, players will observe greater accuracy of example, volumetric effects, and many other post-processing elements. The ray tracing itself is the basis for generating, for example, physically correct shadows." And then goes on to talk about the other mode as well with, quote, "For those who, as you, appreciate smooth gameplay, we have prepared the performance mode, which focuses on a high frame rate, which is 60 FPS optionally with VRR, which is variable refresh rates, making the experience of fast gameplay elements such as combat even more smooth. There's no word currently whether PlayStation 5 will receive variable refresh rates, since only Xbox consoles and PC have it supported. Sony would have to release a software update if they wanted to take advantage of this feature. Keep in mind, all this is next-gen only, as we don't really know how the game will run on last-gen as of now, but Techland has continued to reassure progress is going well." Moving on, MP1st also talked with Piotr about Easter eggs and how they acknowledged they were a big aspect of the original Dying Light. They asked the lead level designer if there are still Easter eggs in Dying Light yet to be found, in which Piotr says, and I quote, "They were almost all found, but I could share some small but pretty interesting info with you. One of our graffiti on the walls next to the tower is a graffiti from our level design team with team tags, and the other one, No Mesh, is related to our world editor. Every time when some object is rejected from the data, No Mesh shows up to let us know we have to take care of something. While we were working on the following, a few developers created a band called, don't be surprised, No Mesh." And when asked if there will be Easter eggs in Dying Light 2, he goes on to say, "Of course, Dying Light 2 will be full of Easter eggs, how could it be different? We will reach some fresh and classic movie hits, we'll blink an eye in many games, but the biggest amount of references will be found deeply in our hearts with Dying Light." Now, I actually believe it's a little difficult to speculate for fun what Easter eggs we could even think we're gonna get, because looking at past examples like the Mario World or the Plants vs. Zombies Arena, there's some pretty random games with barely any correlation to Dying Light to make an Easter egg out of, so I assume we'll get a lot of weird shit again. And knowing Techland, we'll probably get something weird again like this.
Oh, hello, mister. Wow, hello.
We already know we'll get references to the characters in Haran from Dying Light, but I'm personally thinking Haran especially, since between the events of Dying Light and 2, in the official Banshee comic, they called it Verizon. I was about to call it Verizon. They call the virus the Haran 19 virus for whatever reason, so the events of Haran are pretty known worldwide. Well, worldwide where the rest of the people are still alive, of course. Now, the last thing we're going to be talking about is in the same interviews before between MP1st and the lead level designer at Techland, where another question was asked, being if they were planning to release a possible 60 FPS update, or even a native next-gen port of the original, for which the answer we get is, and I quote, "Right now we are focusing on the release of Dying Light 2 Stay Human and other projects," being that fantasy project we'll get to in a different video, so nothing to say at this time, but we hear from our fans and we know they are waiting for this kind of information. And that's all he had to say on the subject. He never really said no, to be clear, but it really looks like as if those console folks will be waiting a while if they ever decide to even release an update. Now there's two reasons why I think they could be waiting. One, they plan to release it as a paid next-gen update, probably around $10 like other companies have been doing lately. This could allow you to change your FOV, resolution, frame rate, and so on. All those features us PC folk already have, so hopefully there's more than just that if they're going to charge people for a game they already bought. Or the second option, I believe, is more likely. Their priorities are truly elsewhere like they've said, and because they actually think 30 FPS is better for Dying Light as there's less input lag. Tamont Magtal, the lead game designer at Techland, has stated that he doesn't really enjoy as he once did going back and playing the first one after seeing how the sequel compares. From his words, he felt it was clunky and sluggish. Well, the reason is there to enhance your old game and put materials into it when you have a new version of it coming out in just a few months. That's how I look at it from a marketing perspective. Xbox Series systems have their own FPS boost implemented for Dying Light, which Techland allowed for Microsoft to do, while PS5 is stuck using backwards compatibility to run the game at 30 FPS. Yeah, kinda sucks. Honestly, I would love if everyone could play like you can on PC with 60 plus FPS and other features as well, because it's pretty game changing. Once I switched from playing on PS4 to playing on PC, the game felt really fresh. So let's hope we'll eventually see something soon about it before Dying Light 2 releases on December 7th. Anyways y'all, that's gonna be all for today. If you want, feel free to like the video, subscribe, and come stop by next time.